Hi. So in this video, I want to cover the material from Lesson 1.4, Learn to Help Yourself. If we go through the website, developer.android.com, you're going to be presented with the main web page that Google uses to present information for all things Android. You're going to get to know this site quite well. The home page may change over time, so by the time you get to this lesson, this may be different. But in general, there are a few sections of the website that I want to point out because it's very helpful. So if you go and click Docs, and you're always going to find something that references Docs. So developer.android.com/docs. And here we've got a few different groups. I want to talk about a couple of these. These are really excellent resources, and you can take a lot of time to read through them. If you click Guides, you're going to see here on the left, these are organized by category. So for example, there's App Basics, there are Devices, and then there's Core Topics. If you have questions about a specific feature that you're trying to implement, you might find a guide that covers kind of the basics for that. So you can certainly take a look at that and figure out what you want to learn. Reference gives us the API documentation. So if you have been working on an app and you're coming across a class that you don't recognize, you can start to go through and identify, go to Android platform and then figure out it's organized by package name. So if there's something you've seen in a code example and you're not sure what it is, you can get more details here. Speaking of code examples, if I go to samples, this represents all of the available source code that Google provides of examples using their APIs. This is really nice because you can select a technology. Right now Android is selected. You could go through all these other groups. You could also look by language, so you could filter, I just want all of the Java examples, or I want all of the Kotlin examples. Then from here you can even filter even more, and you can just, for example, if I want to learn more about the camera, I can narrow it down. So these examples are code examples you can download and take a look at yourself. Finally, there is design and quality. And this has a lot of information, and I highly recommend taking time to go through this. Material design is the method and approach that Google uses to create a user experience on devices. You have a lot of different categories here. I will highly suggest, if I haven't said highly suggest already, let's go through and take a look at this on your own time. In the meantime, you have a sense of where you can find more information from Google. All right, I'm going to stop talking about that. Let's go to a project. Here I have opened, this is a project that we've done recently. It's the scrolling text example. And I want to talk about what happens when we have the launcher icon. Now, if I go, here's my emulator. You'll see this on your own device if you've built these apps to your own device. When you scroll up and you look at the icons, notice that here we have Hello Toast, we have Hello World, here's our scrolling text. Notice that these icons are they're very generic, and obviously you want to have a custom icon and you want to make it look unique to your product. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back to our project, I'm going to stop this, and what we're doing is creating a new resource. So if I go into my folder and I go to the res folder and I right click on the res folder and I choose new, what I want is an image asset. Go ahead and select image asset. Now by default it brings up the launcher icons category, and obviously there's other types of icons. So we have adaptive and legacy, we have legacy only, and then you have other icons you can create. We want adaptive and legacy, which means it's going to work on all the current and previous versions of the Android OS that's currently supported. Here you see a breakdown of this icon. Now, we can change what is called the source asset. So here we can reference an image, we can reference clip art, or even text. And then in this example, it uses a path to draw this. So we want to change this to clip art. From here, you can select the clip art, and I just clicked on the image itself, and it brings up all of the available clip art that you can use. And this is open source icons that are available to you. Obviously, you want to change this so that, you know, you're not doing the same icon that everybody else is using, but this just gives you an overview of what is available. You can certainly, like I said, these are open source. You can modify these and create your own icon, but it's always good to do something that gives you a unique icon that's a little different than what's going on. We can go ahead and choose, I want to select camera and just click OK. Now obviously we have color. We can deal with all sorts of color options. You've got a color picker. You can, you know, select a better color here. So I like blue. Let's just pick something here. We'll choose that. And then obviously you also have the background. And so the background, notice here I'm looking at foreground layer. If I click background layer, I can go in here. And here we're using an image, or we can use a color. And so I can select that and I can change the color. And you know, you just do this. I'm not a designer, so please don't copy what I'm doing because I don't have a clue. So something like that. And you get a preview of what that looks like. You can also change the size. When you're dealing with legacy, there's questions about, you know, generate, do you want a square, round? And if you're supporting all of these others, you'll keep these defaults. All right, go ahead and choose next. And then from here, we have it says these are the files that are going to be created as a result of this, and just go ahead and choose finish. All right, if I go into my res folder and then I look, it's under what is called MIPMAP, and MIPMAP is a series of images that are used when rendering on different density and resolution devices. It's a faster way to render. I won't go into all the details. I don't actually remember all the details, but the point is that it's a MIPMAP for the launcher icon. If I double click one of these, then you're going to see the image there, and so you get a sense for that, and then you have all the various sizes to support it. So let's go ahead and run this and see how that looks. So the app is now running. We can go ahead and exit out of the app, and I'm going to scroll up, and if you look down here, there is my new icon. All right. So the next topic we want to cover in this lesson, if I open Android Studio and I create a new Android Studio project, we've done this before, but I want to give a little more emphasis on what's happening. Let's just go with my application. We won't worry about any of these others. We'll go with the defaults. Again, select the defaults, choose next. So we're talking about the activity templates. So here, if you take a look, you've got a number of app templates that are ready to go, and it's basically a skeleton of giving you a starting point for when you want to create an app. We've used the empty activity already. There's a few others. We'll go through those in other videos, but just know that these are a great place to start if you have an app that, for example, you know, want to use an app that works on the tablet and the phone using the master detail flow, for example, or if you want to use the navigation drawer, all the different types of things. And so it gives you a starting point. We want to look at basic activity. Go ahead and select that and choose next. We'll go with the default, choose next, and it'll go ahead, and if it needs to, it'll download some additional files. But we'll go ahead and launch this application. Again, this may take a minute or two to download any dependencies, and of course it'll process and then get ready to build. So once that's complete, what I want to do is go ahead and run this app so we can see it on the device or in the emulator. And after that loads, let's take a look at this and talk through and describe some of these features. It's important to know what we're looking at within the app structure so that we can make changes to it. Here at the top where we have the time, battery indicator, and other things, this is called the status bar. Below that is the toolbar, and in this case we're using an app-compatible toolbar which allows us to run on older OSs. Then within that, the toolbar itself, you have the title. This is the title of the app. And then we have this overflow option menu, which allows you to add additional menu settings. Here we have our view, and this is a view group, and within it we have a text view. So we've looked at these before. Down here at the bottom, we have what is called the floating action button. This is something we'll talk about in another video, but it's a design pattern that you see often in a number of apps. Okay, so here's the default. Let's go back and let's make some changes so that we can modify some of these colors. We want to change the toolbar color, and to do that we need to go to the activity_main.xml file. You can find that under the app folder in the res folder in layout, and we want activity_main.xml. So remember this, if you don't see the text view, make sure, if you may have be here in design, go back to text. And notice that we have some nodes here that say app bar layout and then toolbar. Remember we identified the toolbar as the one that has the title. And in the toolbar, we want to change the color. Right now it says background and the color is color primary. If we change this to, and at the end of this primary I just say color primary dark, and notice it auto-completes for me, I will get the darker color. Well, remember those colors are found in the colors.xml file. If you remember in the values folder here, then under colors.xml, these are the colors here. Let's go ahead and run this and see how it looks. And notice now the toolbar matches the status bar. Very good. So we have this floating action button, and we may not actually need that. So if we want to get rid of this, then we go back, let's go back to our project, go ahead and stop anything that's running. And let's go back to the activity main XML file. We'll close out the colors. And from here, we can delete the floating action button tag. So go ahead and select all of that and press delete. And then we need to delete the reference in the activity Java class. So if I go here, there's this mention of floating action button, which is fab, and we want to delete this. So if I go ahead and select that and press delete. Let's run our app and make sure there are no errors to make sure we removed it properly. And there we go, it ran just fine and we don't have the action button anymore. Okay, next we want to change the title. So notice the title is here and we want to change that. So if I go back and I stop the process, the way we can change this is under the strings.xml file. If I go, since we've already looked at colors, we want to go to strings, so go ahead and double click and open that. And notice here it says app name, so I can say, let's just change this to awesome app. Yeah. And let's run that and make sure everything works properly. Perfect. Great job. Okay, let's go back and let's stop this. So with the starting point of a template, you can also use these templates to add additional activities or screens to your app. So far, all we've done is use a single, either the basic activity or the empty activity template. And let's say we wanted to add the a view that had the sliding navigation drawer. Well, to do that, let's go to the Java folder and I'm going to right click and choose new, and from here what we want is to scroll down and notice how it says activity and we choose gallery. Here we're presented with the same choices we've had before. But this time, instead of creating an entire project, we're just going to add the activity that this template uses. So if we want the navigation drawer activity, go ahead and select that and choose next. From here, you can name it. Now at this point, there are some defaults, and you may not want these defaults. It's always good if you have the starting activity, where the app launches, you call that main activity. That's fairly common. But at this point, you want to start changing this up. It's main2 activity, main activity underscore main2. It gets confusing. Don't do that. So here, though, we do want to follow the convention where we say activity in the name. So here we're going to say drawer activity, and notice that it updates for us. And so the activity drawer, and now notice the title. Here we can set the title for this, and I'm just going to say menu. And then we'll go ahead with this and choose finish. We're going to go into more details about all these other options, so don't worry. For now, I just wanted to show you how you can add additional templates to your app. We've looked at the samples on the browser in the website, but you can also get to the sample code from Android Studio. To do that, you want to choose File, New, and Import Sample. If I go down here to Import Sample, this represents all of the available samples that you can also find on the website. And here I can filter. So for example, if I was looking at camera, here again, we go back and we've seen some of these titles already. You've got basic, Kotlin, and it gives you, if you take a look at this, it tells you this sample demonstrates the Camera 2 API. So you go ahead and choose next, and then this will create a new project based on this sample. So you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But that's one way to get to the sample code without having to go through the website. As we've talked about today, there are a lot of resources out there. You can certainly search up on YouTube. There's a ton of videos for Android development. You can, of course, subscribe to my channel and enjoy the content that I present. You can use Stack Overflow, which is a common portal for people to ask questions. There's a lot of things out there in order to find answers to your questions. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out the next video. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing.